Just in the nick of time.
So who's the angel, who's the devil, though? That's the real question between Solomon.
Jesus Christ,
and Johnny.
YouTube.
I'd like to think I'm always
Get it together.
an angel.
There we go. You are always an angel. Keanu Reeves. All right. So, the interesting question, of course, here is, what more are we seeing, and of what games versus the showcase? This is an extended meme. And so, what is it exactly that they're going to be extending? Are we going to be getting more gameplay than we did from certain games? Are we simply getting devs sitting down talking about their breakfast this morning? It's evidently it's like a hour and a half of something. Hopefully Redfall expansion news. I mean, this is, are we getting a 90-minute sizzle reel? Is it even a sizzle reel? At that point? Refried sizzle.
Welcome to the Xbox Games Showcase Extended. My name is Tina Amini, and I'm here to dive a little bit more
Tina
into the games
Amini.
you saw at our recent Xbox Games Showcase. Showcase featured 27 ambitious games.
Presented
all
by
coming to
Diablo.
Xbox. Games like
Wow.
Clockwork Revolution from In Exile Entertainment, Fable from Playground Games,
Already working
and
in
from our
that
partners,
Activision Blizzard
Star Wars
partnership.
Outlaws from Ubisoft Massive in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, and Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess from Capcom.
Hey, what up, Stem?
Today,
You gotta get
we'll
that
take a
name
closer
updated
look
on
at some other
YouTube,
games
son.
from our showcase lineup and introduce you to some more games too. We've got the game director of Avowed from Obsidian Entertainment breaking down the game's trailer. And the game
Why are we
director of
transitioning to
Hi-Fi Rush
YouTube?
From Tango Gameworks is here to
If
tell
you
us
didn't
about
catch
their
the
newest
podcast
update.
or any of the
You'll
streams the
also hear
last
from
couple of
Sarah
days, I'll
Bond,
explain
head of the
after
gaming
this. Stick around
ecosystem
for that, and
organization for
I can
Xbox. We'll tell us
reiterate for
more
those
about
who
a
are
program to bring games
unaware.
from underrepresented
What up, Bloody Wreck? How you
developers
doing?
With unique visions to Xbox and Game
You guys are gonna hear
Pass.
a little bit more
And we
echo than
may just
usual
have a
because I
few
have my
other
door
fun
wide
guests in
open,
store
so
for
I
you
try
too.
not to
So stay
die of
tuned.
heat stroke.
But first, let's check out the rainy streets and sinister markets of Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty.
More
Hello everyone.
Phantom,
I'm
more
really
liberty.
excited to welcome you to this exclusive Xbox store over Black Market, one of the locations in Dogtown that you are going to be able to explore in Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. As you can see, Dogtown welcomes you with an open arms.
Too tame?
This is Black Market, a location where you as a player, as a mercenary, you can obtain unique cyberware and weapons, things that you cannot find anywhere
So,
in this
as
world.
I was discovering after they showed
Dogtown
this
is a
off,
part of Night City, but has its own very distinct look.
they're like
and vibe.
overhauling the
It's
base
outside
game
of the
shit too.
jurisdiction of NCPD,
So this is
attracting all
this is
kinds
like
of
an expansion
eccentrics
plus
and dangerous
rework of the base game.
Radical mods, Jim. Never seen anything like that on a non-maelstromer.
You mean this? Ain't seen nothing yet. Check this out. Or this shit here.
Elbow
We have put a lot
flamethrowers.
of work into making the world feel more alive.
Always
Smoke
Rive
scenes,
wanted to put my
secrets to
flamethrower.
find, Easter eggs, make this place feel more vibrant and more believable.
Captured on Series
But
X in
what's
performance.
inescapable
Performance means
in
lower
Dogtown
fidelity,
is Kurt
higher frame
Hansen.
rate. Yeah.
Kurt is a leader of Borges militia who rules Dogtown with an iron fist.
It is not synonymous with 60 FPS lock, but it is targeting higher frame rate versus typically when you go for a quality mode, it's 30 FPS target.
A really nice guy, as you can see. The black market also is a place where you can find new illegal weapons and goods. They are some of the most powerful items in the world, but are often
Yeah, new
much more
skill
dangerous
trees and everything.
to
They
use.
reworked a
new
lot.
cyberware capacity system, which leads you to push your body to the limit and give you new abilities to deliver more thrilling gameplay experience.
Watson
like
Hoare.
air dash or
New
the
episodes.
ability to see the enemies through
I'd
the
watch
walls, or change your appearance to lose the heat. The Borgest is the authorities of Dogtown, and they are more dangerous than NCPD. When you as a player commit crimes in Dogtown, they are the guys who are going to chase you. We have completely overhauled the police system. Police actions are more believable, dynamic, and diverse. The team has been working
You can see the primary thing in performance mode is they have like almost no self-shadowing on any of the characters.
Wait for you to find out more.
But it
this
still looks really
September.
good. Like most people wouldn't
See
give
you
a
in
fuck.
Dogtown.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm excited, but I'm hoping that this allows them to get it closer to their original vision.
We're not done talking about CD Projekt Red's next dive into the story between V and Johnny just yet. In fact, we're here with the voice and stylings of Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves himself. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Likewise.
God
well,
bless
Phantom Liberty introduces
Keanu
us
Reeves.
to an entirely new location in Night City. It's called Dogtown. It's this devastated place. It's controlled by a militia. But I think you know more about it than I do. So how would you describe it to players?
Night City has its own kind of levels to it, and I think Dogtown is kind of going down to a darker place. It's dystopian. It has a tension to it and this undercurrent of kind of violence, you know, like, and struggle. You know, can I swear?
Yeah.
Shit's gone down in Dogtown.
Am I allowed to swear? Bless you.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, I mean, hopefully it'll be fun for people to play there.
It's hard to believe that there's an underbelly to the underbelly
Yes,
that
that's
is Night
good.
City,
Yes,
right? Yeah, I'm a little
yeah.
scared, but in a good way.
No, it's a good way. I mean, we're all kind of we're all moths to the flame, aren't we? And there's a lot of...
Glad to see Keanu recovered from his
Well,
stroke.
if anyone
Yeah,
could take it
better
on, it's
microphone
me,
on this
so
one.
That certainly
Yeah.
gives me the confidence.
It's not
Yeah,
lapelled
he's a
this time.
survivor.
I'm pretty sure this
Oh,
is
yeah.
all boom mic or
And we just saw a tour of Dogtown
shotgun
too, so
mic.
we got a little bit of that
Oh, cool.
ambiance, and we can see what the environment is like. People are getting beat up. It's not good.
It's, yeah,
It's not the friendliest place to be. You gotta be prepared for it, truly.
yeah.
But in our tour, we also hear a recording from a Colonel Kurt Hansen. Who's this guy? Because he seems pretty dangerous too.
Yeah, that guy. No, I'm sorry. I can't say that. My inner Johnny came out.
I think that's
My
good. You know,
inner-
we know the tone now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's ex-military, military too, ruthless, power hungry, manipulative, and Johnny doesn't like him.
I could see that. I mean, Night City in general is the kind of place that breeds that kind of character.
Yeah.
Let's take a step back. Let's talk about Johnny as a person instead of this horrible person known as Colonel Kurt Hansen. I don't know about this guy, but people like Johnny, and I think it's interesting because we know him to be opinionated. He's radical. We've seen that in Cyberpunk
Johnny the
2077 in the
anti-hero.
main campaign, but as we get to know him, he's got a sensitive side too. He can actually be quite caring.
That's what makes it so much fun. He is outspoken. He's a little grumpy. And he has a right to be. He's been used, he's been abused, he's been abandoned. And I think that through that kind of hardness of his outside, there is a vulnerability to him. And I think what's great about it is I get to play that character in so many different ways, and so the range of it is cool.
And especially for the player, you get to see these moments in flashbacks.
If we ever get Milkshake Ducked by Keanu, I want. What a call out, Sergeant Milkshake Duck.
I mean, we could start talking about nature and nurture. I'm sorry, I keep dropping into Johnny, but yeah, I like his anger. I like his passion. I like what he stands for. He's really just looking for a fair shot. And I love that he's kind of going through music, that there's an artist side to him. And, you know, I got some great speeches.
There's all these moments with Johnny where a tiny little thing, you know, elicits this
such
really
a
fun response. You
fucking
can flip him off and he double
puppy
birds you
dog.
back. Like, I love those kind of moments.
Or rock.
I think another interesting lens of looking at him as we get into Phantom Liberty is his dynamic with Solomon Reed. So what can you tell me about Johnny's relationship with Idris Elba's character?
I think Solomon has some things in common with Johnny in the sense of the military, the sense of being used, abused.
I mean, I gotta hand it to CD Projekt Red. They've managed to,
title, right?
you know, despite the fact that it was a tire fire at launch,
You know,
they convinced
Solomon's
Keanu,
kind of trying to
obviously with some money,
reclaim
but Keanu doesn't chase money
his
like a lot of
life.
people does.
You know,
Or
and
do.
Johnny's
So they
doing
convinced
the
him to
same
come
thing.
back, and now they've got
You know,
Idris
it's
Elba.
Cyberpunk 2077.
That's a hell of a
so it might
combo.
start off as revenge, and it might end as revenge, but I think sometimes he feels like
I did
he's
see that
lashing
interview,
out at
Fox.
the
Yeah,
wind.
the one where the community is
You know,
telling
I
them
think
the
Solomon
mods to fuck Johnny.
has been living out in the kind of the desert of his life, right? Kind of hiding and harboring.
Yeah.
But I think he also has that kind of soft and hard side to him as well.
So as somebody who's very familiar with thrillers, because you've starred in a few, what do you think about Phantom Liberty makes for a good spy thriller in particular?
The quest to understand what's going on. So, and the kind of scavenger hunt of information, the mystery, the double crossing, what is true, what's fiction, what can you count on, you can't count on anything. That is really kind of amplified.
I know the game is significantly better now than it was at launch. It took a long time to get to that point,
Thank
but
you so much for coming out to another Xbox presentation. You've got a lot of fans out there in the Xbox community, so I think I can speak for all of us in saying
they
we really
scoped too
appreciate
big,
you
and then
showing up
they
here
scoped
today.
too big,
well,
thinking
thank
that they were
you.
going to be able to
Before I
somehow
close
pull it
things
off on the
out-
PS4 and the Xbox
Well,
One.
before I close things out,
And
I'd
that
love
was
your help
just
here,
a
Keanu.
horrible
How do you think
choice.
Johnny would end this interview right now?
Well, there's a lot of ways you could do that. But, Tina, pleasure to meet you.
Oh, is that how Johnny would do it?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Johnny.
Nice to see
such
you.
a pleasure to have you. I thought you were going to kick down the camera or something, so.
No, you see, he's respectful. You know, you're a good egg.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Yeah.
And I'll see you out there again soon.
Bless him. Oh, no, not more of this, please. I don't need, no. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Oh, I'm so sorry for dragging you all into this.
High on Knife. An expansion of some sort to High on Life. That was the one where you get to listen to Rick and Morty's voice actor do Rick and Morty in 3 or 4 different guns.
You live in
A lot more than 3 or 4.
exist. It's a pantomime.
That's not.
And if you get a glimpse behind the scenery,
No, it's
the
not.
stagecraft, you will discover nothing but darkness.
I thought it was a
And
goat
once
fuck for a second, if you know what I mean.
It will swallow you whole. I'm in a
For a
race
moment, I was
against
hearing
this
Mickey Rourke.
darkness. A race to locate an ancient ruin, a tower of unspeakable power. I need the best of the best. But they're all dead. So I'll use you. Scoundrels, thieves, cutthroats. The best
A lot of moves in the strategy genre in the last few years, yeah?
Oh, come now. Try not to look so glum.
Yeah, I mean, XCOM definitely spearheaded the more modern push, but I honestly feel like the Mario and Rabbids thing moved that along pretty dramatically. And now we've just been seeing more and more and more. The Lamplighters League! And the tower at the end of the world. Very Indiana Jones vibes, yeah?
When it comes to RPG studios, Obsidian Entertainment is among the very best. From Fallout New Vegas and The Outer Worlds to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Pentiment, Obsidian games have placed their stamp on the genre. Joining us today for a closer look at Avowed is game director Carrie Patel. Carrie, I'm so excited to have you here.
This is very important to keep in mind. This is Obsidian, so visually it's going to look like it's 20 years old.
I want to dig out and pick your brain
but
around.
theoretically, everything else in there is going to be
that you don't need to have played
really
Pillars
fucking
1 or
good
2 to really get into Avowed.
You're absolutely right. You don't need to have played Pillars 1 or 2. You can come to the world of Avowed fresh. We want this to be a welcoming experience to new players. But if you are a returning fan, there are some recognizable tidbits.
For people who have played Pillars 1 or 2, can you tease any more of just those general connections to the
Is it just me or is this showcase better than the other one?
Of course.
Well,
yeah, there are a couple returning characters.
it's going to be better paced because they're not showing as many games. That was like my biggest gripe with the last one. There was no breathing room. It was just fucking like rapid fire.
Pretty heavily into the world of Avowed, so all of that will be familiar to returning players.
We do start to see some of that Pillars universe now in the Avowed setting, which is really exciting, and it's looking amazing so far. But can you confirm one thing for me? Are we still in Aora?
We're still in Aora, and specifically we're in a region called the Living Lands. So again, returning Pillars fans will recognize the Living Lands as this otherworldly frontier. It's very remote. It's relatively unknown. It's this very dramatic landscape full of all of these different valleys with these unique biomes and creatures, just a really unique visual perspective. And it's a wonderful frontiersy spot that's set for adventure. There's a lot that's undiscovered, and so that's the part of Aora that we're introducing players to in Avowed.
And we also see a character talking to us in the trailer. He seems like he might be a companion, because that would be a very Obsidian thing to do. So what's going on with that?
Yes, this is Kai, and he's
So I didn't know this, but this is an extension of the Pillars of Eternity world?
Of the world of Aora, and Kai as a character brings a balance of
I had
this
no
really
idea.
battle-hardened perspective. He's seen a lot.
That makes it a bit more interesting.
But he also has a really unique sense of humor. So he
Weird
brings
that they
a
didn't
spirit of
work that
levity and
into the
camaraderie
title
to the
more.
party as well.
And as he's talking to us, he's also kind of conveying, well, he's straight up saying that he's afraid of you and your abilities. But it's not like the heroes are the only powerful beings in this universe. So I'm curious what that means for who we are as the player character. Are we a watcher again, like in Pillars 1 and 2? Or maybe we have some connections to the spirit realm and beyond that gives us these terrifying abilities?
So you're not a watcher this time, but you do have a unique soul connection to the world that gives you a connection to the Living Lands. And
yes, it was an ARPG, Pillars 1 and 2. And very, very good.
As an envoy of the Adirian Empire.
Still being played, PoE 2.
Mysterious aura, but also a certain sense of political urgency.
Kai also mentions a plague. That's another bit of detail that we get within the trailer. We see a very concerning growth on a lot of the creatures in the world. What can you tell us
it's not
about
replacing.
this
I think it's adjacent.
I can't say too much just yet, except that it is a unique soul plague that is devouring the Living Lands, and part of the player's mission in being sent here is to investigate and try to stop it.
We also saw a lot of combat in the trailer, and we see dual-wielding pistols, we see spells, we see swords, we see just a ton of abilities. A lot that actually is really reminiscent of the Pillars universe too, but those were isometric top-down view games. games, and
she's
Avowed
doing
is
a really
first-person
fucking
game.
good
So how
job
did the
as
team
host.
approach
I'm just
that
gonna say
same kind
that.
of fantasy combat, but
Everything
in the
she's
first
done in
person
this
for
so
Avowed?
far
So we
has
wanted to
been
take that
phenomenal.
same depth and
Even
breadth
from like
of
a
play
canned
styles and
like
combat
perspective,
abilities and player fantasies,
way
where you
better
can
than
play someone
most
who's very
hosts
magically
that we've been
attuned,
getting.
more traditional fighter, a ranger,
Like,
and
just
really invest in whatever
fantastic
play
job.
style is most appealing to you personally. We wanted to take that depth and breadth and translate it into a first-person experience where you can feel the visceral nature of the attacks, feel the dynamism and the momentum of those attacks as you're executing them, and that means including a range of options like, as you noted, dual-wielding pistols, which is one of my favorites because you don't see that often in fantasy RPGs, but also traditional sword and board, a whole host of magical abilities, a lot of things that'll be both a little bit familiar but hopefully new to players as well.
And I've got one more question for you because I know the audience is going to want to know this one, but just how big is this game?
So it's going to be roughly comparable to something like Knights of the Old Republic 2 or The Outer Worlds. It is set up as a series of interconnected open zones that players can explore
30, 40
at
hours.
their own pace. You can invest in discovering every nook and cranny in the world, discovering every secret, finding every side quest, meeting every character, or you can have a much more focused experience.
She's doing an amazing job as well answering these questions. She's doing a wonderful job.
They're going to spend a lot of time with us once Avowed releases.
Well, count me in as one of those players because I definitely want to read and hear every line of dialogue, everything everyone has to tell me, and discover every inch of the living lands. Well, thank you again so much for being here, Carrie. This has been so insightful and fun.
Thank you, Tina. This has been a pleasure.
That was just a taste of what you can expect from Obsidian Entertainment when Avowed lands next year on Xbox, PC,
Oh, this is
and Game
definitely
Pass.
edited, but like they're doing some long ass monologuing without even doing speech fillers to a small degree, so they're crushing it. Not random because Obsidian made Knights of the Old Republic 2. So as far as game length, you know, it's one of their games.
3인칭 루트 슈터 게임으로 엑스박스 시리즈 X와 S, 엑스박스 1을 포함해 콘솔과 PC 크로스플레이가 가능하고
Crossplay,
플레이로
okay.
즐기실 수 있도록 개발 중입니다. 퍼스트 디센던트에서 플레이어는 계승자가 되어 인류의 생존을 위해 침략자들에 맞서 싸우게 됩니다. 계승자는 플레이어의 캐릭터로서 다양하고 개성적인 컨셉과 전투
You know it's
스타일을
Asian
가지고 있습니다.
because it's particle
플레이어는
effect
계승자를 통해
city.
이그리스 대륙을 탐험하며 스토리를 체험하고 다양한 인물을 혼자서
Just
협동 플레이로
every
수행하게
ounce of your computer or console dying as it attempts to keep up with the 6 trillion particles on screen at any given time.
밀도 높은 팀 플레이를 체험하실 수 있습니다. 현재 개발팀은 작년 베타 테스트에서 플레이어분들에게 받은 피드백을
In this instance, Korean.
신규 컨텐츠의 개발을 병행하고
The
있습니다.
first descendant.
지금 보시는 화면은 최초로 공개하는 엑스박스 시리즈 X의 실제 게임 플레이 영상입니다. 언리얼 엔진 5를 활용한 높은 퀄리티의 그래픽이 안정적으로
Oh, Unreal Engine 5, so
게임
even
개발
more
중에
particles
있습니다.
and
신규
longer
계승자
draw
역시 개발
distances.
중에 있는데요. 이 계승자는 불을 이용한 독특한 컨셉의 플레이를 경험할 수 있도록 디자인되었습니다. 또한 자기장을 이용한 방어 능력과 비행 스킬을 지닌 새로운 캐릭터도 개발하고 있습니다.
I mean, yeah, I remember they had like a playtest for this. I never knew anyone that played it, but
새로운 타입의 보스 레이드 역시 지속적으로 개발하고 있습니다.
I mean, it looks
그리고
fine.
분들이 요청하셨던
I don't know if there's a major hook that I'm personally seeing for me.
캐릭터들마다 다양한
It's
컨셉의
visually
스킬을
stunning because
제공할
it's Unreal Engine
예정이며
5.
통해 개성을 마음껏 뽐낼 수 있도록 지원할 예정입니다.
But,
가장 많은 피드백을
you know, from a
받았던
gameplay
그리고
perspective, it's
시스템을 완전히 변경한
neither here nor there for me.
변경된 그래플링,
But I'm also not
따른
necessarily the
해석과
market for
이동 시
this,
가속 감속을 지원하여
so
조작의
that's
재미를 훨씬
part of it. But even within that context, it doesn't seem to be doing anything new and exciting.
UI와 UX를 지속적으로 개선해 나가고 있으며 계승자 스킬을 개조할 수 있는 시스템도 개발 중에 있습니다. 게임 사운드 또한 글로벌 유명 게임 작곡가인 스티븐 바튼과 협업하여 보다 풍성한 청각적 경험을 제공하기 위해 준비 중에 있습니다. 마지막으로 여러분께서 가장 기다리실 소식을 전해드리겠습니다.
Well, it's a live service game, so there'll be like item shop shit and stuff like that. Battle passes, I'm sure.
8월 엑스박스 시리즈 X와 S를
Yeah, it is big
포함한
Outriders
크로스플레이
vibes.
베타 테스트를 진행할 예정입니다. 베타 테스트는 8월 22일부터 8월 28일까지 일주일간 진행되며 오늘부터 공식 홈페이지를 통해 신청하실 수 있으니 플레이어분들의 많은 참여를 부탁드리겠습니다. be the first descendants.
Nexon, of course.
When we were wrapping up Banner
That's
Saga,
pretty.
we were really talking about what is it we want to do next.
We earnestly started with the idea of making a game that was hopeful, that was a triumph for the human spirit.
Something that had a lot of replay ability, something that you can really explore.
These guys look like they enjoy a nice,
expensive
glass of scotch and a cigar at the end of a day. They own many fine leather-bound books. And their bedrooms smell of rich mahogany.
Action RPG. It's a co-op game. You can play it online. You can play it on a couch with your friends and family. Everybody's moving through the world map together. As the players move out, they start breadcrumbing the storyline that is being told here.
Breadcrumbing? Oh boy.
Into fun, fast combat. You come out of that with resources and crafting items, and with all their new loot, they can go back to the Belfry.
Belfry is a hot name in games right now.
The Belfry is the player's safe haven and humanity's safe haven.
It's a fancy word.
Can customize their appearance, their loadout.
Did they just go to like one? Like, did they just rent out a mansion for this piece?
We definitely wanted
because
to
it kind
have
of
that
looks
kind
like
of
they did.
beautiful background that you see in animated
Like, anyone know anyone that owns a 500-year-old English mansion?
Humanity's last chance at survival.
Humanity is clinging to hope and clinging to this tower.
It is your mission to try to hold the forces of darkness at bay, to give humanity a chance at survival.
The most important thing about the game
Airbnb,
is just fun.
probably.
And it kind of just amplified its fun the moment you added another player. All of the players can build their character in a way that's specific to them. It just turns into this back and forth exploration. Like, let's try to do this one combo, and then let's.
Oh,
see
we got some Legend of Zelda
co-op perspective. That's just really
Sheikah
fun,
eye on the hand
There's not
there.
too many couch co-op games anymore.
This being couch co-op is actually really dope.
In 5 years from now, it's in a place that I never even would have thought of.
It's a seasonal game, which is different for us.
They're doing, oh, it's the seasonal content as well.
With new quests, new biomes, we'll be rolling out.
This is super pretty,
monsters, new bosses.
right?
Expanding on the content in a continuous, organic way.
This man definitely owns a horse.
Living world.
When we started Stoic, we decided, let's just make games that we feel strongly about and we want to play. We had to find the right relationship with a publisher, and I think we found that with Xbox. They've enabled us to make the game that we want to make here.
Ramen noodles seen in the wild.
To see the game that we're rolling out here, Towerborn is, I really believe, something unique.
Okay, I'm way more interested in Towerborn now than I was just from the trailer that we saw before, so that was a great idea to have it included here.
There's that roar again.
You gotta protect the pit stop, please.
What the hell is that thing?
And now for the segment a unfortunately disturbing number of people are interested in.
Hello, I'm John Rush, art director for Fallout 76. I hope you enjoyed the premiere of the trailer for our Once in a Blue Moon update.
Audio guy?
June 20th, free to play for anyone who owns Fallout 76. The blue moon has risen over the hills of Appalachia, bringing with it a ton of great new content for players.
I went my whole life pronouncing it Appalachia, and now I feel stupid.
Includes new cryptids like the Blue Devil and Ogwa to threaten the progress of the Blue Ridge Caravan Company.
What up, Jam Jar?
We've also got 2 new.
Well, if you stick around to the end of this, somebody else asked the same thing. I have explained it several times, but that's understandable. It's going to happen over the last few days. But it's not a complete switch as of now, but I'll explain after we're done with the event here.
And thwart a horde of crazed cultists and be subverted.
With Season 13, we've also got a new scoreboard called Shoot for the Stars.
When Todd Howard retires, does he hang up the bomber jacket in a video send-off? God, I fucking hope so.
And gives you a chance to earn cinema themed
I won't have
rewards.
closure otherwise.
And we're not done yet. Next year, we're taking players to Atlantic City, where they'll gamble on the fates of new factions for the opportunity to win big. Do your part in helping the Blue Ridge Caravan Company and earn rewards along the way. Once in a Blue Moon is coming June 20th. Appalachia is coming at ya. We'll see you there.
Oh, he puts it on his replacement? Oh my god. That's too much power.
What's this?
Oh, is this like boss rush mode or something? BPM rush, okay. Defeat enemies to crank up the beat higher. Oh, so it gets faster and faster. That's a cool idea. Almost as cool as them streaming it higher than 1080p so we actually can see what's happening. Okay. Interesting. So, like, starting from the bottom, now we're here. Wish I could stay around. We'll check back to the video if there is one. Yeah, we'll get that. I actually gave a pretty lengthy meme talk about it yesterday, so if we have a clip of that, that's a pretty good one to just send over. But thanks for stopping in, Jam Jar. I mean, you're already subbed here, but you know, bell icon the fuck out of your mind just in case.
We've just seen
Everyone
a new
else should do the
trailer
same.
for updates coming to Hi-Fi Rush called
Red
Arcade
Baron, by the
Challenge
way,
Update.
9 minutes ago.
No
Thank
joke,
you for
there's
that
literally exclamation
follow.
points in there. That's not just me. So here to explain that and more about the update is game director John Johannes. Welcome to Showcase Extended, John.
Really glad to be here.
Exclamation points?
Many.
You have to be in there.
Yeah. It feels
It's style. It's style. Yeah.
It's a style thing. Well, Hi-Fi Rush is such a stylish game in general. I think that's one of the things that people really excitedly pointed out when we shadow dropped the game in the developer direct earlier this year. But making a brand new IP is always a bit of a risk. Your studio's known for kind of scarier games like The Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo.
Can't deny that. But yeah, this type of game is something I just always wanted to make personally. And I just thought music and action work so well together. And after I had finished working on The Evil Within 2, it just felt like the right time to try something new. And our studio has always been about just making fun games. It doesn't have to be about a certain genre. We're not about making one specific thing.
And fortunately, there's plenty more of that content to come because we just saw an absolutely jam-packed trailer. So I'd love for your help in breaking down all the details, all the stuff going into this update.
Sure, there's a lot, so bear with me. Everything in this mode is unlockable once you've
I
finished
wasn't
the game.
Bell to think,
and you'll
hey,
unlock an
don't worry
arcade
about
cabinet
it.
in
Lots
your
of people
hideout.
forget
And
about
by
it, but you're also,
accessing
you know,
it,
if you're on the
you get two
Discord, you'll
modes.
get
One is
notifications
called
when I go
BPM Rush
live and it will
mode,
tell
which
you where
takes
I'm
the
at,
gameplay
but
up to, like,
nevertheless,
higher
bell
speeds than
icon,
you've ever
we
done
don't
in the main
spam
game. And the
content
other
here,
is
so if you had the
called
bell
Power
icon
Power Up,
on,
which is a
you don't need to
new
worry
sort of
about it being like
randomized spin
a
on
fucking
the
notification every
Tower
5
mode that we
seconds.
had in the original game. And included in this mode are 5 new original songs to play to, as well as 2 brand new enemies. And then there's
All right,
special
Jam Jar. Hey,
attacks,
thanks again,
and
brother. I
this whole
appreciate
meta
it.
system for unlocking upgrades and rewards, and that's all I can think of right now.
I love that there's so much to unpack there, but let's rewind. Let's talk about just BPM Rush for now.
Sure.
It was described in the trailer as effectively Hi-Fi Rush's equivalent of a turbo mode. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Turbo!
Yeah, early on, the team was like, how fast can we go? And in the game, we kind of settled at, you know, about a max 160
120,
BPM.
160?
This mode
Oh,
really
160,
takes it up
okay.
to 200 BPM. But we sort of ease you in
Damn.
there. It's a gradual upgrade until
200
eventually it's
BPM
so fast,
in
you just
game
gotta sort of
time
think
for
on your
attacks and
feet
stuff would be
naturally react
crazy.
to the rhythm and the combat of the game.
I personally love that there's a lot of accessibility settings in the game too. It makes it so that you can adjust the game to your own comfort level. But this is a post-game challenge. It's meant for when you've gotten into the
Most
rhythm
people do,
of the game.
Jamjar.
So
That's
I'm
why
curious
that's
if
why
you have
everyone has
any
to
pointers
incessantly say it, and I
as
hate
far as
doing
how
it,
to
but it's
tackle that
important.
challenge.
It's
As an
important
action
for me
game, I
now,
think a lot of
unfortunately.
people want that sort of next level challenge, another way to use their abilities in a new type of environment. This mode does that by putting you at the high speed. But we also
All right, Jamjar, have a good
multiple
night, buddy.
difficulties. We have an easy mode for people who want to experience what that's like, but maybe are not in tune with that sort of high difficulty that's accompanied with this stuff. But then we have a casual normal mode as well. And then we have, after beating those modes, we can unlock an EX mode, which takes up to a hard level where damage is multiplied and keeps you at that high BPM throughout the entire time.
But there already was a post-game challenge when Hi-Fi Rush launched. It was the Rhythm Tower mode. You mentioned that briefly earlier. That's the one where you face just increasingly difficult combat. So how has that evolved with the Power Up Tower Up mode?
So the Rhythm Tower mode was kind of like a very curated experience. And while it was very challenging, you can prepare, go in and sort of customize your character, know what you're getting into. And in this mode, we flip it to the almost opposite end. Chai starts off downgraded. We actually remove all your abilities, and you have to earn them back by fighting waves of randomized enemy sets. And after every wave of enemies, you get to choose from a series of power-ups that can gradually increase your stats. Each of these upgrades comes with either bonus or negative modifiers as well to the gameplay, so you can take more risks or less risks depending on which upgrades you pick. And again, those upgrades are randomized
More
each
or
level,
less
so
risks.
you really kind of have to have an understanding of the systems and not
Take
quite
note.
master them, but have a good grasp if you want to go in and come out on top.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, it was a really packed trailer. There was a lot of information in there. It's a chonky update. So what else have you got for us? Because I feel like there's more on the table there.
Yeah, so by playing in the two modes, you unlock.
Me too,
these
Drekka, but I
rewards
kind of
to
get
these
why
challenges
it's
that
a
are connected to these two
major
modes.
risk
And
factor.
in these rewards are things like accessories for Chai and new costumes for Chai 808, and even as well as fan favorite Corsica. We have new modes for the photo mode as well. Things like new filters. We have new poses for the characters. We have stickers that you can place on the photos now. And then there are some extra hidden secrets that we don't want to give away right now, which, as you know from our game, we like to hide in there and we like people to find, which is always fun. And then, in conjunction with this release, we're also releasing a separate costume pack, which is a kind of take on what the characters would look
I
like.
wish I wanted to play
if
this
maybe
more. Like, I do
game
want to
took
play
place
it,
in a
but I
different
love
time
that this game
period.
exists.
Ooh, a little tease. I like
It
that.
looks like
There's
it's
some
just
really
so
fun,
well done.
fun-looking stuff in there, so.
Well, thank you again so much for coming out all the way from Japan to Showcase Extended, John.
I'm super glad to be here.
That's all we have to share about the new update for Tango Gameworks' Hi-Fi Rush coming soon. Now it's time for us to return to the second era of Tamriel and the
Presented
Elder
by
Scrolls
Diablo,
Online.
in case you
ZeniMax
forgot.
Online Studios debuted the trailer for their upcoming expansion at Showcase, and today they're here to break that trailer down for us. Let's hear what the team has to say about the Necrom expansion for Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh boy, Necrom. This is actually a massive expansion.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching the Xbox Showcase. I'm Rich Lambert, the creative director on Elder Scrolls Online.
And I'm CJ Greb, I'm the project art director for Elder Scrolls Online.
One of the really interesting things about Elder Scrolls Online is it's different than really any other game out there. It's not your typical level-gated world. Go anywhere, you can explore in any order you want to.
You really can hop in at any moment, play with anybody, can play any part of the game.
And any story.
And of course, I mean, we're on Xbox Game Pass, you know, the biggest open world RPG on Xbox. And if you're at all a fan of Elder Scrolls, you can go places that you maybe have never gone before in an Elder Scrolls game,
And do
right?
things that you've never been able to do. There's so many different activities to participate in. You know,
housing.
It really is a
Lore
credit
hunting and
to them that they've
antiquities,
managed to
right?
find a
There's
way to
dungeons and
open up the
trials.
entire game
And you
world
can,
to
of course,
pretty
always
much do
revisit
anything you
lands
want
that you've
whenever
been
you
to
want
before.
in any
God,
order
Skyrim, Morrowind.
and not fall victim
and
to
they're
level
different
gating
times.
or
They're
item
almost 1,000
grinding.
years in the past.
At least not even
Come in by yourself,
remotely
come in
close
with
to the
friends,
degree that
but
that
don't
other
worry that
MMOs
you're
and
ever not
other
gonna
live
have
service
something to
games do.
Because there are adventures everywhere you go.
Everywhere.
We had an awesome trailer during the showcase. Necrom, Hermaeus Mora.
Yeah.
What's it all about, Rich?
Hermaeus Mora is this Daedric god of knowledge. He's not good, he's not evil. He is just focused on cataloging the world and collecting everything he possibly can to study. And what you kind of see in the trailer is more a kind of always on guard, always looking over and watching what's kind of going on. And you get to see some nostalgia in there as well from the Dragonborn DLC in Skyrim with the yellow-green skies.
The vast inky sea, the stacks of books.
I'll still never forget the first time you showed us the initial concepts for everything made out of books. I remember looking at that going, oh my God, how are we gonna do this? Like, how is this gonna run? And
we always try to honor the past, right? Because when we go back to areas that people who play Elder Scrolls games have played, they know these lands. We want them to feel like they're coming home, right? But we have the chance to add a little into the mix.
The art team was able to really play with kind of cool, unique monsters.
Yeah, we were given some great places to go for new monsters in the zone. We were looking at making a creature that would kind of freeze you in terror as soon as you saw it, and a creature that has a deeper connection to the overall story of the zone.
We've also got the Tavani Peninsula, kind of the Morrowind vibe.
It's always fun to go back
Oh,
to this
hell
part of
yeah,
Ontario
Morrowind.
because it's one of the most imaginative and sort of like visually expressive things that has ever been created for an Elder Scrolls world. And then, of course, Necrom City itself.
This ancient city that, you know, is rumored to have been built, you know, even before the Tribunal was even established.
Right.
Being able to play with that and look at that architecture and this ancient city of the dead.
And you guys gave us a new class to do.
The Arcanist draws their powers from Hameas Mora.
I'm still not convinced that this class isn't going to break a lot of the quests that have verticality and stuff with their teleportation ability.
Everything we've been talking about sounds amazing, but when do we actually get to play it?
Necrom launches on Xbox June 20th, and we can't wait
Dear
for everybody to get in there
God.
and see this amazing content that we've created.
Thanks, everyone, for watching us during the showcase.
I could scry again.
Lots of exciting stuff coming for ESO. in the
Don't
future.
test me, I'll
See you on
scry it.
camera. "24 ghost types in 10 locations." What exactly am I watching? Are we really ghost hunting now? Like, have we gone full-blown ghost hunters international? Plumbers by day, ghost hunters at night. Phasmophobia. Okay, the console early access. There you go.
IBS World News.
Who the fuck is IBS?
番組を
Oh,
ご覧の皆
right.
様、こんにちは。エグゾプライマルディレクターの平岡です。
Exoprimal.
まずは
This
じめに
might be
3
the
月に開催
least
しました第1回オープンベータテスト
interesting
に多くのエグゾファイターの
thing that
皆
I've
様にご
seen
参加いただ
out
きま
of
した。アンケー
all
ト
of
や
the games we
SNS を
watched
通
at
じてたくさんのフィード
the
バックをいただいております。
Game Fest.
今後の開発に活用させていただき
Which
ま
is
す。
saying something
ご協
because
力ありがとうございました。
it's guns and
さ
dinosaurs.
て、カプコンショーケースはご覧いた
You
だけま
have
した
to
でしょう
do
か。
something pretty friggin' insane to make me not want to invest my time into a game with guns and dinosaurs.
詳しい日程や情報は公式サイトをご覧ください。それではここからは番組をご覧の皆様に新情報を紹介します。まずはサベージガントレットという新たなモードです。
Savage
サベージガントレット
Gauntlet.
は内容が毎週切り替わる特別なミッションに5人
The
で挑み
visuals just don't
世界中のファイターと
work for me
クリアタイムを
either. They
競う
look like
というモード
3
です
different games merged
ヒ
into
ーローサバイバ
one.
ルとは違い、出現する恐竜やフィールドが遊ぶたびには変化せず、全世界のプレイヤーが同じ内容のミッションに挑みます。今回は恐竜が出現する位置にあらかじめトリプルスレッドを設置しています。出現してきたらこのようにスカイウェーブのグラビトンケージと合わせて起爆、一網打尽にできました。 ミッションは画面上部に表示されている恐竜の討伐なのですが、サベージガントレットでは目標以外の恐竜が出現することが少なくありません。もちろん討伐せずに無視することもできますが、ミッション達成の妨げになる可能性があります。倒すか倒さないかはプレイヤーの作戦次第です。
I like how they left the real names of the dinosaurs so that people that have no idea how to pronounce them can sit there having a stroke attempting to pronounce them.
何やら次のミッションに備えてエグゾスーツを着替えているようですね。
It's like Overwatch, Anthem, Phantasy Star Online mixed into one with dinosaurs.
スナイパーの要素が離れた位置に多く出現するのでビジラントに着替えたようですね。フレームネオ層も出現するのでフロストロックで動きを止めて集中攻撃のチャンスも作り出せますね。また一列に並んだ恐竜もブレードで足止めしてから倒す作戦のようです。道中では大型恐竜が複数体出現することも。
Like, how are you guys feeling about this? Is this a try? Is this a try, a buy, or like a pass altogether?
もちろんチームメンバーのスーツ構成などよく考えて挑んでみてください。サベージガントレットをクリアするとこのようにクリアタイムが表示されます。その後自分のクリアタイムがどの程度だったかランクによる評価がされます。次はバリアントスーツを紹介します。
Hard pass, pass altogether, pass, pass like pass over.
All
right, we don't have a lot of positive reception for this game. I don't blame you. Like this. Like, now this looks like Earth Defense Force. You know what? Earth Defense Force with dinosaurs?
他のバリアントスーツも特別にちょっとだけお見せしますね。ゼファーアルファ、
Now you got something.
バラージュアルファ、ロケットホップ、ビジラントアルファ、マークスマン、ロードブロックアルファ、フォートレスシールド、村雨アルファ、フロストブレイブ、クリーガーアルファ、チャージショットガン、リッチドクターアルファ、デュアリティビーム、スカイウェーブアルファ、サンダークラップ、ニンバスアルファ、ダブルバレル、バリアントスーツは発売後のタイトルアップデートで遊べるようになります。エグゾプライマルは発売後も定期的にアップデートを行っていきます。シーズンごとに新たなゲームコンテンツを追加していきますのでご期待ください。本日はありがとうございました。それではウォーゲームでお会いしましょう。レッツマッシブ。
It's great to see the dedication from the team
Not
at
feeling it.
Capcom and how they're building Exoprimal in partnership with the community.
No, not Sarah Bond again. We had the goat.
And perspectives
Why are we
never otherwise experience? We can fight dinosaurs.
Stop.
To a dystopian future.
Reverse.
Explore the universe.
Other direction.
And conjure magic.
No, Sarah Bond, no.
No matter where
Get me the friggin' host that knows how to host.
Or our physical abilities. That is why it is both an absolute imperative and an incredible opportunity.
I feel like I'm in a fucking shitty business meeting.
That is why we created the ID at Xbox Developer Acceleration
She is
Program.
staring through my soul, and I barely have one.
Stories in the industry shine.
Look at that fucking glare.
DAP already includes more than 100 emerging developers, and they've launched 30 incredible games like A Space for the Unbound, Validate, and Hoa. And there are many, many more in the works. Let's take a look at these amazing games coming up next from ID at Xbox's Developer Acceleration
Gonna need to circle back to this, Sarah. Oh my god. What in the fuck did I just see there? shift the paradigms to accelerate developers for Xbox. Yeah. Whenever she talks, I just feel like I'm literally just sitting in a boardroom meeting where somebody is doing like a pitch. Like a pitch deck scenario, but it's like just the most canned shit ever. Psychroma, that's an interesting name. Look who it is, it's Paris!
Newman, the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator. He told me about this once-in-a-lifetime, out-of-this-world opportunity. So I'm here in Budapest, the capital of Hungary. Jorg, he's around here somewhere. Let's go find him. Jorg!
Hey, Paris! It's great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you.
Thanks for coming to Budapest.
Of course. What am I doing here?
I'll tell you on the way. We have a boat to catch.
A boat?
Yep.
We don't have a plane?
Nope. Come on, Paris.
They could turn the exposure up on this video a little bit.
Jorg, what is this place? What kind of aircraft are you storing in here?
Ha, dude, it's much cooler than that. All right, Paris, are you ready for this?
You know I'm ready for this.
All right, let's go.
Ah, the Dune memes.
Dune. This is incredible.
Come on, I want you to meet someone. Hey, how's it going?
How are you, man?
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Paris, I would like to introduce Patrice Vermette, Academy Award-winning production designer of Dune.
It is very nice to meet you. I'm a huge fan of Dune. Now, Patrice, can you tell me, what is this place?
Well, this is the warehouse where we actually keep most of the props and the set deck elements that we used on Dune Part 1 and Part 2.
Now, Jorg, how did all this get started?
So it goes back to November 2021. Dune had just hit the movie theaters worldwide, and we got a call from Legendary, and they had the idea that we bring an ornithopter into Microsoft Flight Simulator. And me being a lifelong science fiction reader and fan, a big, huge fan of the Frank Herbert books, how could I say no?
Okay, now it makes sense after seeing the trailer at the Xbox showcase. I understand why you brought me here.
You guys want to take a look? Because we actually do have a couple of ornithopters here if you want to see. You want to take a look?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Look at this. It's a one-on-one real-sized ornithopter. It's amazing.
Sure, thank you. Denis likes things to be plausible, so that's why they were built to look military, rugged, and stealth.
Now, here's the most important question. Were they built to fly?
Man, Dune was a great movie. I can't wait for part 2.
On a couple of occasions. No, they don't fly.
Of course they can't fly.
11 tons.
So
11 tons!
You had to get this working in the game. How did you do this in Flight Sim?
Yeah, it was actually interesting. So in general, ornithopters can fly and do fly. This particular one, given that it weighs 11 tons, that's going to be a little bit harder, specifically because it's not really doing the ornithopter bird flap. It does oscillation of the blades. And we currently don't have the material science to get the thrust and the lift. But on Arrakis, I think this is absolutely possible. And in Flight Sim, we made it work.
Patrice, we're here. Can we go in?
Absolutely. All right, let's do it. Normally we'd go in through the climbing up the landing gear, but this will do.
Yeah, so what's cool about this, Paris, is that all those buttons are actually realistically hooked up to the system. Master engine switch, what you're doing there above those, the red, are basically all the lights.
And as you notice, it's all analog because in the world of
what a
Dune,
fucking
there's no
badass job that is, hey?
Illegal for 10,000
What am I gonna
years.
do today? Well, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna work on making the fucking
We thought, oh, it's glass cockpits.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be
sci-fi
computerized.
spaceship
None of it is.
for an
This is a
upcoming
very
movie today. How does that
practical
sound?
helicopter, almost
Boring,
like
eh?
from the 1960s.
So Jorg, in the first movie, the Thopter was able to do a lot of cool moves and maneuvers. You're going to be able to reproduce that in Flight Sim?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, the really cool design that you guys came up with is each blade is independently controlled. So each blade has its own lift and thrust. And that means it can go from a really stable hover to a steep dive and back to a glide instantaneously. I would just say thank you that you designed such an awesome and realistic machine, because that's what we do. We bring realistic machines to life. But if you want to see a little bit more about the game design,
Absolutely.
I have something for you.
Absolutely, I'd love to see.
All right, so
That's a super awesome design, eh?
Is that you are
Like conceptually like a
pilot
dragonfly?
on a rocket flying an ornithopter. Here is what we built. We basically built this section of Arrakis. Here's the capital city of Arkeen. Here's the botanical garden, we have that as well. And the first thing we do is we train you up. The fast takeoff, fast landing, and then the deep dive. And then we take you to some of the extreme locations, like the bow of the cliff, the hole in the rock, the red chasm. You really have to show your pilot skills. And then, towards the end, then there's a secret mission, which I can't talk about today, but that basically wraps up the experience. It's gonna be great.
Super exciting.
That's pretty dope.
Hey,
It was great to see you again.
Barris, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. All right, Jorg. Where to next?
Well, I don't know what they eat on Arrakis, but this is Budapest, and I hear they have excellent goulash. I know a place.
Well, let's go.
Did they really have to end it like that? That's just corny as shit. Could have just left it at the goulash thing. But okay, super dope, amazing. Love me some Dune. Microsoft Flight Sim has some of the craziest visuals in gaming right now. It's not my bag, mostly because all I do is crash, but it blows my mind every time I see it. And that's just such a win of a crossover, Dune and Microsoft Flight Sim. It's a massive win. I have no idea what I'm looking at right now, but I know I have Whiplash from the last segment. Go Mecha Ball? Always a spider, Fox. Always a spider. Oh, here we go. Lies of Pushin' P.
That takes the story of Pinocchio.
Well, I saw somebody post a video up where they were running this on a 1650 Ti and a potato CPU on low settings, and it still looked still looked great.
Finally, we meet. You are awakened by a mysterious voice.
Can you hear me?
You must adapt yourself and your weapons to face untold horrors, untangle the unfathomable secrets of the city's elites, and choose whether to confront predicaments with the truth or weave lies to overcome them on the journey to find yourself. You are able to create your own weapon through the combination of these blades and handles. Of the hundreds of possible combinations with different respective appearances, performances, attack motions, and patterns, each and every blade and handle has its distinctive Fable Arts. Fable Arts is a special combat skill that can be casted by consuming Fable slots. Fable slots can be charged again through combat. Select your own special skills to vanquish your enemies.
Okay.
The Legion Arm is a prosthetic on P's left arm. The Legion Arm can exhibit special abilities by consuming the Legion Gauge, providing you an eclectic combat experience.
Okay.
So, puppets are
Remind
all
you
there
of Final
are?
Fantasy 16?
I highly doubt
Oh,
it.
they would,
You'll
because
have to face
Final
all
Fantasy
sorts of
16
monsters.
is
Puppets only being one of them. You're not quite done yet.
Is,
bone-chilling
you know,
bosses
medieval.
await you.
Renaissance.
If a boss seems too intimidating, you might want to get help from a specter. In boss matches,
This is literally just Dark Souls.
With a bit of help, you will be
but
able
with
to defeat
P.
bosses with more ease.
100% more P.
The P organ is a system that allows you to upgrade your character.
Oh, well, you did not call
optimize
something the
P
P
to your
organ.
liking.
You
Within
did
the
not
P
do
organ,
that. That didn't
you can select
happen.
which
I
slots to
refuse to
unlock,
believe
depending
you
on your
called
preference.
something the P organ.
There
No
will
shot.
be times when you will be confronted with choices where you can give comfort to others in sorrow or despair by lying, or you can choose to tell the truth. Carve your own path. Meet Liza P on Xbox One, Xbox Series, and Game Pass. Coming to you this September 19th.
There's so much game happening at the end of this year. It's bonkers. But yeah, that's just like, well, I shouldn't say Dark Souls. Let's say Bloodborne.
To sink you into Senua's world and story.
Oh,
To
we're
do
at
this,
Senua. Maybe we'll get
it's
more
critical that
gameplay.
we make it as easy as possible for you to suspend your disbelief. One key method of achieving this is our use of performance capture.
What I want to achieve on stage is to get the best performance and best storytelling from the actors, and then to get that into the game as faithfully
Principal
as possible.
Production
I wanna see
Ninja.
what I saw on stage in the game.
Well, you're not going to beat that title.
It's time to fight. When we were shooting the scene from the Xbox showcase, it was quite a somber mood on set, because that was one of our moments in the game where it's just Senua and the Furies, and we have an opportunity to connect with the player one-on-one.
Where are they? Where are you? What do they want? I don't like it. I'm scared. This is too bad.
At this point in Senua's journey, she's had her confidence eroded. There's a lot of doubt, and she needs to find within herself a spark of hope, that strength that she has in order to continue on.
Everything I've done has led me to this place. We've come so far.
While this scene is relatively simple, the scale and complexity of our performance capture has multiplied to meet our creative ambitions on Hellblade 2.
We shot the first Hellblade in the boardroom of our old studio. It was very MacGyvered together. In the new studio, we have a custom-built mocap space, which has pretty much everything we could have dreamed of. We've got projectors, so we can recreate sets on the ground if we need to. We've got loads of props that we have available to us at any time, so we can build sets.
I remember coming in to interview and seeing the setup down there, and immediately being impressed by the clear commitment that had been made to underpinning great true-to-life performance with great quality data. So we've got a lot more cameras
This
around,
Hellblade is as close to
and in the kind of space that we have to
like almost literal example of cinematic game experience that we have. It's even a step further than like The Last of Us.
With our setup, we can push even further,
which is already pretty far up the scale, right? The Last of Us is already pretty far up there, but this is like
even down to the most
there's not a lot of further room beyond this before you're just sitting there watching it.
Calibrated well, you can track performers' movements down to the millimeter. So we can see somebody shuffling their finger along the table or just wiggling them very gently. You can see hesitation and breath. You know, there's no need to push the action and overact. You can just be your character.
I'm here now.
What we want is the best performance possible, the best immersion possible for the player, and that's why we go to these lengths, just to try and get that.
Yeah, they do a really good job. Like the acting in this is pretty spectacular.
What do you want me to do?
With performance capture being at the heart of our character movement, our props and staging...
That green light looked like it would probably not be fun after a while. I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about that.
That boat will have several characters on board. We wanted to be able to capture the motion of a boat across multiple characters simultaneously, and we, for the first time, had the space to be able to construct a proper rig for this. So we had a platform which could be moved in any number of ways to create that kind of pitch and yaw and roll that you would get on the ocean. And we got our actors up onto this boat and captured scene with high waves and a storm, and we got incredible data from really, really amazing. The most important part of my role is to make sure that story gets told, and having these wonderful actors we're working with bring their talents to bear on these characters has been such an amazing experience.
But wait, there's more! Wild. Shit, if there's a part 3, imagine how good that's gonna look.
Xbox's Major Nelson. Welcome to FanFest. I'm excited to be here. Here we go. Let's roll that video.
Xbox's Major Nelson, a legend. You know you live in a really small town that when you've never even like heard of anything even approaching this, like an Xbox fan meetup thing, like promoting Xbox as a brand or whatever the fuck, all this kind of like pomp and circumstance.
That FanFest Melbourne, and it's playing awesome games. And
Hey, we never get any of that shit out here.
There is so much going on here tonight.
Clap. Oh wait, this is not in sync. That's probably bad to do. Don't do that. Warsaw!
Honestly, I've never felt so good to be part of Xbox.
We can't escape Sarah Bond!
And everybody is so excited about what's to come.
At least she's not presenting, so she just sounds normal.
Really put a lot of emphasis
Thank
on
God,
our
Matt Booty,
creative
greatest,
and there's so much
worst name
excitement
ever.
for what we're going to be able to deliver going into 2024, and even games in 2024 that we haven't talked about yet. So our mission, our strategy is to bring the joy of gaming to everybody, no matter where they want to play, how they want to play. And I just feel, you know, a real responsibility, a real privilege, excitement that we get to be the ones to build those games that are going to be at the center of no matter what we do.
Sign up for Xbox Fan. When does Xbox Fan Fest come to Halifax? Oh, never? Okay.
Today, I'll be playing with Kelly, Anita, and Carolina to explore the new multiplayer features Lightyear Frontier has to offer. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today, we should continue building up the base we started yesterday. We'll need more resources, and it'll be faster if we work together to collect them. Can two of you work on that?
Yeah, let's go. Go.
Hey, that purple mech looks great.
Thanks. It's my favorite color.
What am I seeing?
Dang, the farm looks pretty good with all the grown crops.
Yeah,
Have we reached the point where we're now doing Mecha Farmville?
Work on making our home look a little bit better, and then I'll come down and help you out.
Great. I'll see you in a bit then.
Well, if we still had that bingo card, this would be the fake
I can get wood
co-op
to start
gameplay.
with, and then you can help me get some aluminum.
I'll get some stone also then. That should cover a lot of what we need for crafting and building. Once we've finished, let's head back and help with the buildings.
Resupply to the rescue.
How's it going up there?
I think I've got a good idea of what I want.
Okay, but why are we building things with like normal sized chairs and shit if we're using mechs?
Choices.
Can we get out of the mech?
Oof. But I think that looks good.
Can't wait to see it.
There are loads of aluminium here. They're actually pretty strong, so we can do it faster if we both drill.
Let's work together and see what else we can find here. After we bring this back, I'll take a look in some other regions to see what materials they have.
I'm done up here, so I'll come join you.
Oh, my inventory is getting full from this harvest. I think we should build some like silos or crates to store it all.
Yeah, we should probably build a fence around those two.
Okay, so you can get out of the mech.
Great idea.
That starts to make a little bit more sense.
I'll help with the silos next.
Yo,
Okay, I didn't notice that they were out of the mechs at the start. I just was catching the mech part.
Please, oh my gosh.
Fantastic.
Do you want us to start helping you build?
Yes, please, please.
All on it. What do you think of the layout?
Yeah, it looks great to me.
I'm almost done with the fences here.
Hey, everyone! I was going for more materials and I found some ruins over there.
Really?
Jump in your mechs and come see this. Oh, wow, what is this? Oh, look at that.
This is so cool.
That door is huge. Wow.
I wonder what's inside, though.
Tomorrow we should totally find a way to open this. Let's head back to the base and see what we can do.
Lightyear Frontier. I mean, sure. Why? Why not? Sure. That's an interesting concept. But the canned co-op like dialogue thing just kills me every time. And it's been going on forever. I mean, we've been doing this shit for like 20 plus years. Sea of Stars is actually pretty wild. That's some good shit.
Just follow my instructions.
Harold Halibut. Space Hospital Simulator. Neon White, that won a ton of awards. The Bookwalker. Okay. I mean, there's some decent games in there, for sure.
Every year in our showcase, there's one game that kind of pops for me.
Phil, you rocking some Lippy today there, big guy?
This year we got to announce 33 Immortals from Thunder Lotus. And I'm here now with Stefan and Will to walk through a demo of the game, which I've never played before. First time. We have 33 people online, incredibly excited about this. So we're going to jump in?
All right, let's jump in and start playing.
33 Immortals is a co-op action roguelike for 33 players. You play
co-op
Soul,
action roguelike for 33 players
so 3 of us
is
here today
a mouthful.
Stage, 3 upstairs, and 27 people joining us from Montreal in the studio. Hi, everyone.
And we are ready. That's us. Everybody's spawning in.
That's us.
This is 33-player multiplayer.
Yeah.
Not a normal number of characters for a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
How did you come up with 33 players?
We were searching for a significant number.
Given that almost everyone's lips are super red, I'm going to guess that this is the LUT package that they're running for this video, making everyone look that they're wearing lipstick.
Written in the 14th century. And this poem has 3 sections.
Imagine the canned co-op dialogue for this game. 33 players, all with a written script.
And so we say, oh, Let's do 33 players.
I love it.
33 immortals.
That's something I'm interested in, is how do you do
that when you guys
communication
started this
when there's
game, there weren't even
33
at
people?
the studio, so you didn't have enough people in the studio to fill out the full roster of the game.
Yeah.
It's just such an awesome
Oscar, thank you for that follow.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge when you're trying to do that.
I love it.
Okay, so no two runs are the same. We're actually spawning in a different position, a different situation. We are in the cemetery. If you hold the left trigger, the world map is going to show up. And we can see that we are 33 right now, actually, in Inferno, but we are scattered around the world.
Oh, we're not all in the same place.
Yeah, because we all have to complete torture chambers.
Got it.
I know, I always wake up every morning
And we are
ready
a
to
little bit
tackle
at the
my torture chamber.
West of Inferno.
Yeah.
And so the closest torture chambers is to the east.
Okay.
So let's go there.
Got it.
Okay, let's continue down south towards the first torture chambers. This one, I have a good feeling for it.
The soundtrack, what's going on? The music's kind of cool.
Thank you. This is Max LL, who's actually done the music on all of our games.
When's the last time you saw Jim Ryan playing one of their games? I know that's the kind of like a fucking softball, but when's the last time you saw old Jimmy Ryan out there on stage playing a game?
Absolutely. It's always important to be well surrounded and all that. So
We didn't talk about your first game, Spiritfarer.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great.
Now, as you can see, this is not Spiritfarer.
No, but like, how do you think about that from a studio standpoint? Having such, I mean, I would say they're stylized games, but outside of that, very different games.
We're not worried about, genre. Our goal is really to just try and make unique, immersive, creative.
Like, even if they were
experiences that
faking
players
this and they
love
just
and
handed
they
everyone
wanna play
controllers
for.
and it's just like, away you go.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
This guy is
It just never happens.
getting out of my comfort zone sometimes.
Okay.
All right.
What do we do?
So we have completed a torture chamber, so we have achieved a first step in
I got left behind. That's what you're saying.
defying God, yeah.
Oh, they're back on us.
Whoa.
Well, we gotta face the wrath of God.
Careful.
Oh
no.
Dash, dash, dash.
Run away.
Oh, I can't. I have like 0 health. New torture. No, I gotta get out of here.
Where are you?
Well, why weren't they in the torture chamber trying to help us?
Okay.
Okay, these range.
God is getting angry.
Yeah.
Definitely
We're
not
getting hammered right
canned,
now.
that's for sure.
Okay.
It's it's
Okay, here's a guy.
equally
Can you
cringe,
revive
but
me?
for different
Revive me?
reasons.
Yeah, just stop moving. That's good. One up.
Yeah, I'm up.
Okay, off.
Thank you.
Oh no! Oh, run. Oh, this is the holy fire.
What is this?
Oh, one
holy
nose.
fire.
One nose.
Now we're in holy fire?
The wrath of God.
Okay, I'm ahead of it.
Okay, so we unlock the Ascension battle. So that's the last battle.
Here, can we
before
get this? Can people jump in my heels?
Yeah. I'm in. Oh.
And Phil's
Try to do
dead.
the heel. Don't mind me, the wandering soul.
Save me, please.
Phil just dying over and over again.
Maybe someone.
Did I mention I'd never played before?
Oh no, I died too. Oh my.
Okay, hopefully the team can carry us.
But we are not alone.
There's a lot of enemies in this small space.
Gonna try to not move.
Okay.
Don't move, and hopefully someone is going to be able to revive you. Okay, good.
Oh, I'm in.
I'm up.
I'm in. Okay.
Back.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, thank you.
So this is the last step.
I think it's my last.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
We did it?
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we've ascended.
Yeah.
That was first chapter of first book. Is that how I should think about it?
Yeah.
It's the first world, so it's Inferno.
Yeah.
Each region has its whole big set of challenges and everything.
And this is all on the map.
And its final boss fight.
That's what this is. Well, since we've basically come through unscathed so far, this should be easy.
And by never played before, Phil means he's never played a game. Phil actually plays a lot of games. He's just like, he's not,
I like it.
he's just
I like
not
it.
a phenomenal
Well,
gamer.
Best of luck to you and the team and everything that's going on. Can't wait for this game to come out. I won't ask for the date because I know that's unfair. But it was great to have in the show and great for you to come down and we got the opportunity to play. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for watching Showcase Extended. I love these opportunities to show more about everything that you saw in the showcase itself. Thanks to everybody that supported us and have a great week. Thanks, everybody.
Well, there you go. Kind of a weak ending. Could have made something a little bit more exciting towards the end there, but nevertheless. Yeah, Phil plays games, but all on easy difficulty. That's exactly right. And that's his prerogative. That's his prerogative. That was great. That was nice to see. I mean, it kind of ended on a bit of a wet fart, but you know, it was nice to see some more elaboration on some of the games that we saw in the original showcase. Yeah, at the very least, the what was the one with the tower, the belfries again? I can't remember the name of that one now, but that one. It was towards the beginning of the show. That one showed a lot more promise after having seen it be elaborated upon a bit more with rich mahogany smells, scotch and cigars. That was nice to see. Got me a little bit more interested in it for sure. I would have liked to have seen an extended look at Forza. Like, that's supposed to come out at the end of the year. We haven't really got a lot of information out of Forza in a while for the new motorsport. I really thought that it was going to be part of this showcase, and clearly it was not. So that would have been nice to see some more of it. Maybe that's, maybe they don't have anything to show. But again, I mean, that shit comes out later this year, theoretically, and it would have been nice to see some more of it. Beyond that, it was interesting to see that it was, sponsored by or brought to you by Diablo 4, which is just, kind of a funny thing to see, as Microsoft is clearly in the throes of trying to acquire Activision Blizzard. I guess that was pretty cool. I would have liked to have seen a couple of other games that weren't there, but we got to see more of Cyberpunk. We got to see more of a couple others, and that was better than nothing, for sure. And there's going to be more content and whatnot external, just having these where individual developers are posting their own shit online. There have been sit-down sessions and play sessions for people who are actually at the Game Fest, locations to be able to get hands-on time with some games and whatnot. So if you follow some of those journalists and outlets that had the privilege of being there, you'll be able to catch more stuff in that regard. Yeah, what did you guys think? What did you guys think of this? Did you guys think that this was a good addition? Did you think that it didn't need to happen at all? Do you think that it was better than the original showcase? What were your thoughts on this bad boy? I keep forgetting I'm on HLS, and so I have no idea how, the delay is going to be variable and much longer than I'm used to. It was pretty good, can't lie. Like a decent sandwich, good for lunch, but I'm not giving it a 5-star review. I like that. I like that description. I get that a smaller show is better, but in the end, a longer show like this is better. Yeah, for sure. I think this was a response to leaks. It's quite possible, although it looks like a not insignificant number of those things were pre-recorded that would have been done before the leaks happened, but parts of it might very well fall into that category for sure. The interviews seemed pretty fire starting out, bit cringe but limited. Yeah, the up front, the front half of this was really good. The back half was kind of neither here nor there, to be honest, but the front half was really great, really well done. I think it was fine. I'm kind of interested in the 33-player co-op. Oh yeah, just here at the end, the 33, what is it called? 33 Immortals or whatever. Yeah, that's what an interesting concept. I definitely, like I was mentioning there, I didn't see too much there, but I also wasn't looking too hard for it. But I'm wondering how 33 people communicate with one another in a way to be able to effectively navigate and do many of the things that the game is likely going to ask you to ask of you. So that's a bit of a question mark. But otherwise, it looked kind of like a similar to a Hades. And Hades went over very well. So if you make on the one hand, it's a proven thing, and on the other hand, if everyone just looks at it and sees Hades, but you don't do a good enough job, that might have it might backfire a little bit. Oh, you think they planned this to confront the leaks? Well, what leaks really happened anyway? I mean, I know we had leaks for Persona 3 and Persona 5 Tactica. I don't... The leaked document that was supposed to have all the stuff that was going to be shown off the showcase, like, wasn't even remotely accurate. Not even remotely accurate. You'll get called vulgarities in so many languages at once, your head will spin. What's the delay right now anyway? Let me say. So if I just say, and I'm going to say 3, 2, 1 now, and then you guys in chat, after I've done so, you just say now in chat when you hear me say it, all right? 3, 2, 1, now. I want to see how long this delay is on HLS. Now? There's 1. Now, now. Now, okay. That's not awful. It's definitely variable as shit, but it's not awful. That's doable. I'm not a puppet. Watching too much Lies of P. Mark just getting it now? Holy shit. I wonder if that's because some people watching it at, like at full resolution, others at different resolutions, some on mobile, some not on mobile. That is something I noticed when we were streaming on YouTube before, was there was a much more variable distribution in terms of the delay for people seeing stuff versus Twitch. Twitch seemed to be a lot more standard. Which is not ideal. I mean, I can go, wow, B-Taste just getting that, no way. Really? Okay, don't fuck with me. But I can also try, like I'm on HLS, I can also try RTMP sometime, but HLS was chosen because I'm running at a high bit rate, and so it's recommended at higher bit rates for to give people a better experience, I guess. It's a more workable delivery system for high bit rates. Awesome. Well, that's it for that. That was pretty much the last thing for Game Fest that was scheduled that, to my knowledge, now, Demi, really? Jesus, holy Hannah. We're not even in the same area code at that point. I might have to change that up. Now I just feel like I'm getting trolled. Yeah, that's pretty much the last thing for Game Fest. From what I saw in the schedule. As for why I'm on YouTube, so remind me, there's still some people here that haven't gotten the spiel yet. There's some people that haven't haven't heard the spiel. I know I was being asked earlier in the show if those people are still around, then I can give a quick recap, and then we can always highlight the more elaborate one from yesterday, if need be. But if those people were here and bounced, then I won't give the speech right now. Yeah, well, there was somebody before Jam Jar too. I just can't remember who it was. Either way, like the long short of it is, like we'll pull a much longer and more elaborate highlight from yesterday to point people towards. The long short of it is that Twitch's more recent changes that they're putting in is making it pretty much unsustainable for me to just only be on Twitch or even rely predominantly on Twitch. And so for income of any kind, the contract changes and whatnot that they're forcing on people are extraordinarily predatory and bad for content creators. I think it speaks to itself that I would even consider doing something like this at this stage in my career, to be able to like try to keep the train going even as a secondary piece. But I never imagined Twitch would be trying to do some of the stuff that they're doing, and they're doing almost all of it at the same fucking time. Really, really, really wild policy changes and contract changes that will eliminate a further. They've already like crushed everyone's income, but it's going to knock another 20-30% off of my income. So that's the long short of it. So we're doing some content on YouTube, some on Twitch, because I still need to be able to stream on Twitch to inform people that more stuff's happening on YouTube. So if you are here or whatever and you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you don't, miss out on the streams that happen here. There's going to be, more than just this kind of stuff happening. There will be a good chance that the Final Fantasy 16 playthrough will be done here. So just, if you want to keep up with my content, more stuff is still going to happen on Twitch, but I have to be mindful now. I don't want to have to be, but my hand is being forced. Better Twitch TV emotes are here now. We've got that hooked up today. If you want a theater mode with chat, we have a command for you. It's !theater. You can install that extension in Chrome or any Chromium-based thing. There's probably one for Firefox too. I think Drekka said he had it, and you'll get basically the same kind of experience, theater mode with chat. And if you're F11, it's full screen with the chat. You're off to the races. So with better Twitch TV emotes and that theater mode, you're getting like pretty much the Twitch experience, with the exception of course, my personal emotes, which would have to be dealt with in some other way. I have all of those on my computer, of course. We can figure that out with time. And then, of course, I have to set up, because I don't think I have it set up yet. I have to set up memberships so that, you can subscribe here like you would on Twitch. And then I'm not going to tell anyone if and when to move a membership over or do whatever. That's all up to you. There are a lot of people that are coming up on some big anniversaries on Twitch, and I feel awful about it, because like we've been there for so long and we've got so much history there, and people have these massive streaks, and I want to still be able to celebrate that and you know, as much as I know a lot of my community, I don't have everyone's, you know, subscription length memorized and whatnot. So if you're part of the group that's going to continue, being here, whether you're here on Twitch, like, just make note on Twitch of your sub run, and we'll just find a way to try to reward that in some way, or make note of it, just as we would have if we were continuing on Twitch, because it's something that's, you know, important to me, is to help, or is to continue to celebrate, you know, so many of you guys and girls that have been with me for basically a fucking decade and sometimes more. And so I wish there was an easier way of doing that. Back when Hitbox was a thing, when we made that switch and I had an inroads with Hitbox, you know, you might remember, I actually had them import a bunch of my subscribers and give them their first month free. I can't do anything like that now. I don't have, obviously, that kind of a fucking, especially not on YouTube. But we'll try to figure out something. But just look to know that in it coming up, there will be more and more content done here on YouTube, as these Twitch changes continue to pile up and kind of force my hand. Just forgot to cancel the Twitch sub and sub to your new streaming site like I did when you moved to Hip. Some people did forget about it. That's true. I tried to warn everyone too. Like, I had sent out a mass message to try to warn everyone, but bless many of you for continuing that on. But yeah, so like, I mean, YouTube is a 70-30 split on subscriptions. I'm still 70-30 on Twitch. That won't stay around for much longer. That's going to go away. And so, that's just something that I have to take into account. Super chats here on YouTube are split with YouTube. So there is, I think it's also a 70-30 split. I have to look into that. I think everything's just 70-30. So if you're, you know, in the same way as before, you know, the most ideal scenarios are direct tips, subscriptions, and super chats. But super chats are neato because, you know, like you just saw with Drekka, you get to see them in chat. So there's that. But bless 690 coming in from Drekka. Thank you, Drekka, for the super chat. I have to switch sites, speaking of Twitch, because I'm still playing The Legend of Zelda, the fucking Tears of the Kingdom, and I need to continue that on Twitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over there. Thank you for coming and hanging out for this. I hope you had a good time. And I will see you back over on Twitch in... You probably take me about 5 minutes to make sure everything is hooked back up, because I have to dismantle a bit of the setup to go from the PC to the Switch. And then we will see you over there. Until then, thank you very much, guys. And I will see you in a few minutes.